Welcome back to Rated Radio. I'm Ray Zander.
And I'm Shane Wyndham.
This is Otis Redding versus Sam Cooke.
Hope you're ready for a fight.
Roll the intro. All right, welcome back.
I'm sorry. You
What?
expected more of me there.
Yes, I did, but it's fine. I'm used to disappointment. All right.
We're just getting started here, you know?
Yeah.
For the day.
Yes. And it is, I'm acting like it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. It's noon.
Yeah.
But we are recording earlier than we have been, so let's just jump right into it. My caffeine is starting to kick in, so let's go.
So we had this come out of our randomizer because Kelly put Sam Cooke in there.
Okay.
So
Thank you, Kelly, for recommending Sam Cooke. Any excuse to listen to either one of these artists. I'm a big Sam Cooke and Otis Redding fan, so I was very excited about this episode.
yeah, and my friend Lyndon was supposed to be on this episode, but we've had some winter weather down here, and that hasn't treated everybody nicely. So
Dude, I'm still
catch him in the future. It'll be good.
recovering. All right, so let's jump straight into it. We are going to start with Sam Cooke. We covered his Ain't That Good News from Shane. When did it originally come out?
1964.
I gave it 6, 7, and above ratings out of 12.
Yeah, I thought 5 of the tracks were great.
My top track is A Change Is Gonna Come, but I did want to make note of the Riddle song. Kind of into it. That fell to my second place.
All right, well, the Riddle song was my bottom track.
Awesome, great.
But we most definitely agree on A Change Is Gonna Come.
Mm-hmm.
And I was super curious because one of the things Lyndon's been talking about is how one of his favorite songs of all time is on this album.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to know which one it was.
Yeah, which one is it?
Because I had a suspicion we might all agree.
Mm-hmm.
But Lyndon definitely marches to the beat of his own drummer, and it's always refreshing to hear his takes because it does tend to make me question certain things.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not surprised you and I had different thoughts on the Riddle song.
Yeah.
So,
but that was, that's Sam Cooke's magnum opus. Is that what it is? Magnum opus?
what, A Change Is Gonna Come?
Yeah, that is his, because he died tragically. I say tragically. We'll get into it.
See, I don't really know much about the guy. What I knew of his music was really relegated to just the experience I had from Orange Is the New Black.
Uh-huh.
One of the characters in Orange Is the New Black really digs that artist. Mm-hmm. So you hear some of his music throughout, and it'll get you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, we'll get into it. Let's move on. So my bottom track was Ain't That Good News, which was the title track of the album.
How's the music make you feel?
Music makes me feel like my grandma's brushing my hair.
I like that.
Thanks.
I wrote like I'm having a picnic with that person who feels like sunshine.
Straight out of Pleasantville.
Okay.
You know?
No,
like when they're sitting on the knoll.
I don't know.
Anyway. All right.
I just think of that movie as a little too...
Are we talking like the Paul Walker, Reese Witherspoon? I don't know.
I just think like fully whitewashed Hollywood when someone says Pleasantville.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. No comment. What I thought about Ain't That Good News, Cooke's voice is pleasant with a nice upbeat melody, comfortable and sweet for everyone. His influence on 60s R&B was cut short tragically in 1964 at the age of 34. That's the age I'm turning this year.
Oh.
So
what the fuck is happening over here?
I wish we would have had more from this artist, but what I will say about this album from Cooke is he seems like a fun artist to have seen live with a voice to offer anything from sweet nothings or a life-changing message. What about you, Shane?
I thought you were about to show the whole world that you two are epileptic or something. You were joining the ranks and
Ooh.
Yeah, not with that noise. You're gonna have to come with a better better seizure noise than that.
I know, but I do the grab the collar and I do that little like that's what it was.
The album for me. You want to talk about infectiously feel good? This is exactly that. I can go ahead and assure listeners that if they enjoyed what they got from Mr. Cooke's music in the show Orange Is the New Black, then there's plenty more of that here to be had. It's strangely effective on a number of fronts because it wins pretty big despite the oddness. Firstly, it both begins and ends with its weakest material. Secondly, the first half is classic upbeat 60s R&B with some island and big band frills, while the second half is more like lounge ballads meet old-timey musical numbers. Think the Finian's Rainbow soundtrack. And lastly, the lyrical content is routinely not happy, yet the music, alongside Sam's voice, is 100% going to make you feel better than you already may. The recording quality is just strong enough to hold up as timeless. There's not a bad song in the bunch, and the spin flies by thanks to a lack of showy instrumentals and absent bridges. I could knock it for repetition, not having very complex instrumentation, and rarely trying to be more than standard in terms of lyricism, but I'd still wholeheartedly recommend this album for being something that's overly rare in the ever-growing world of music, a shot in the arm, a kick in the head, a mood lifter. Wonderful listen.
I want to own this on vinyl so bad. Like, this is definitely one that I want in my collection. So this was a good listen. Why don't we take a break and we'll get into music on Otis Redding?
Yes, let's.
Bring in the noise, bring down the house. We came here to turn the party out.
You throwing NSYNC at us on a Sam Cooke, Otis Redding?
You said let's get the noise. So yes, I am. All right. So we covered a Billboard hit this week. Shane, what was it?
Favorite song by Tootsie. What'd you think about it, Ray?
This Jelly Roll-esque artist offers a sweet rap song with a hard-hitting beat and an even sweeter melody. But I think the auto-tune vocals can cheapen the production value, but overall still a solid song. I gave it a 6.
Look, I genuinely dig the sample here. I'm also pleasantly surprised most anytime I hear a rapper try for a heartfelt love song. Plus, this is catchy enough to be forgiven a portion of its shortcomings. Gotta admit though, I'm not sold on this as anything close to a stupendous song that's going to outlive a lot of other hits. The thing both starts and ends with just us listening to the faraway sounding sample play. Tootsie's cadence and lyrics aren't anything to write home about when he finally does show up. He mostly just starts repeating himself midway through, then pieces out again near the end. I'm certainly no fan of thinking it's killer game to tell a girl she still looks good without makeup and eyelashes, etc. That should be a given. There's even a line here about wanting someone to love you without any reason. The fuck? It all just comes across like someone who's just begging to be cucked someday. But I still think the song is kinda sorta okay-ish on the whole. Mostly because of the nice choice of sample, which isn't a carbon copy of the originating song, by the way. There's also a real gentle nature to the effort. The sample, I should add, is from Tatiana Manoir's You Might As Well. But this one, favorite song by Tootsie, 5 out of 10 stars for me.
All right. Well, I thank you for getting around to what the sample was, because I was curious to know, because I have no idea about where it came from originally. So.
Yeah, I had to go hear it. I was enjoying the sample so much. I'm like, I'm going to go listen to this song.
How did you know it was a sample?
Let's just say experience has taught me.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I can't always tell. It's not like I'm
all right, don't give your secret. Don't give your secrets away. Don't give your secrets away here.
I kind of assumed listening to the artist at work on top of what was happening that he wasn't necessarily capable of creating what was underneath.
Yeah, I got it.
And I was right.
Yeah, okay. Well, gotta love being right. So
I'm not always. Like I said, sometimes there's a really badass producer who gives great sample work, you know, and then somebody just takes a shit all over it regardless.
I've thought about, like, because I mean, obviously we know you've created music, and I've thought about, well, what if I were to take that avenue? I love music. I listen to a lot of it. I have a lot of inspiration when it comes to music. And I've quickly begun to realize that unless ChatGPT is my friend, which it is, I am not creative enough to put something so original together without any inclination or evidence of being sampled elsewhere. I would be the person that would take inspiration and be like, oh, you took Ice Ice Baby and put your own lyrics on top of it. Like, it would be that situation.
Okay.
So I don't know that I am creative or original enough to create music.
And I'm over here wondering now if
I'm jealous.
If MySpace was still a thing, if ChatGPT would be in your top friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. ChatGPT has been helping me write a lot of poems, including one about rocket money. Yeah, rocket money ruined my life. So my foe and my friend.
I'm still confused by this, by the way. And I want to add that I said that wrong earlier.
What?
I was trying to say a good producer can create the opposite of a sample. You know, like an underlying track that has this really great vocal piece that they use throughout. It sounds like a sample, but it's not. And then, you know, a half-ass artist comes and takes a shit on the track.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
Oh, yeah, a lot.
With regard to Rocket Money, are you saying that it's trying to reel in your spending and you're not liking that? Is that what you're getting at?
Rocket Money has slapped me on the hand and gone, no. Because I have the platform itself, the way that it organizes this sounds like an ad for Rocket Money. Sponsor us.
No, please don't, because I would never use something like Rocket Money.
Why?
Because I'm not a dumbass. I know how to look at where my money is going and figure out, oh, you should stop ordering so much.
I do too. But the thing is even when you look at your bank statements, it doesn't always tell you the addresses of where you're spending and what you're spending it on. It looks at that and categorizes it accordingly because it recognizes, oh, this is a gas purchase at a gas station, and this is some rinky-dink TikTok shop, and it categorizes it as that, and it breaks it down even more to see where your money is going. And I find it super helpful. So if it saves me money, and I mean, it only is like, what is it, like maybe $1 a month for the one that I have. And it also sends me notifications when I'm reaching what I have budgeted for the month in this category. So based on my past trends in spending, roughly it gives me estimates on what I spend per month. And I'm moving forward into budgeting accordingly to help me go positive more every month. So it just helps. Yes, I'm a dumbass when it comes to math, but it helps categorize it easily for the dumbasses that don't want to take the time to look at all that or don't have the patience to look at any of that.
I'm going to walk this back because what I was trying to say was I know how to handle a budget and money and do all that shit on my own. And I fully accept that there are people who don't. And if you found a tool that helps you, good on you. Okay. I don't mean to sound like I'm being judgy. It's just the thing that my brain immediately does. It's like, yeah, this is hard. Okay. Yeah, it's hard for some people.
Yeah,
let's just go with that.
It can be hard for some people. I'm not a numbers person, and statements are easy to read, but sometimes they're not. And it breaks it down for me and makes it an easier process for understanding my finances. And you know what? It doesn't matter as long as I can save money. So
this may be one of the worst conversations we've had on the show so far.
It's okay. Why don't we take a long, deep breath and let's go talk about Otis Redding?
I nodded my head. Yes, let's.
Okay. So, the album that we listened to by Otis Redding was The Great Otis Redding Sings Soul Ballads from 1965. I gave it 5 7 and above tracks out of 12.
Yeah, I thought 2 of them were great.
My top track was For Your Precious Love.
I went with A Woman, a Lover, a Friend.
And my bottom track was Mr. Pitiful.
Come to Me.
Oh, I liked Come to Me.
Sorry.
How does the music make you feel?
Like I'm watching the film High Fidelity on VHS. You?
Like I'm swaying in a dimly lit room close to someone I long for.
All right. Well, no need to long for them if they're right there in the room with you.
I know, but you can still be so close to someone and still long for them. You can yearn for them in ways that you may not have them in that moment. I don't know. Let's.
You sound bored as fuck.
No, let's talk about the album.
I like to edge myself.
Ew, Jesus fucking Christ.
That's how it comes across.
Yeah. Well, maybe I do.
I'm sure you do. I think you've told us all that in so many words here. So, by the way, I was surprised that randomly, it may be this case with both of these artists' discs or whatever. Like one album was from 64, the other album was from 65. Both of them have 12 tracks.
The similarities are right there.
Yeah.
Same time, like this was the Rose Bowl. This was the level playing field that they both were on.
Yeah.
Nobody had really an advantage here.
Yeah, height of Motown, for sure.
So Shane, tell me what you thought.
Blending Motown horns, James Brown energy, and doo-wop's melodic foundations, this album has strong musical bones in almost all places. Additionally, the guitarist randomly going absolutely ham, and Otis having what I consider to be the perfect voice for any R&B genre, it's hard to stop listening. There are some pretty big drawbacks though, primarily that it can sound at times like a garage and closet recording. Basically, the production hasn't aged well in spots, the lyrics tend toward droll and lackluster, and where the melodies are basic, you really notice, the way you would when listening to stuff out of the 50s, for instance. But the band is competent, the vocalist is heavenly, and you're apt to know pieces of this even if you've never sat down with Otis Redding a day in your life. Lost somewhere between classic and run-of-the-mill, I'll always appreciate this album for being so easy to hear all the way through. Many of the tracks are too short for breakdowns or tired rhythms, so while I think it's mid in a lot of ways, the talent here is the wowing kind. Yourself?
Whether you're carrying a watermelon, outrunning a train, or hanging with Soda Pop Curtis, music like this is felt with your whole body and takes you back to a snapshot in time where R&B and soul were just being presented in front of a lot of new listeners. I found Redding's slow and longing vocals linger as they wrap you in a blanket while you can't help but sway to the slow and simple melodies. This 1960s R&B is what you'd expect, simple, sweet, but I don't know about you. I could use a little more sweetness in times like this.
Did you just manage to say watermelon and Soda Pop Curtis?
Yes. And outrunning a train.
I don't know what I'm going to do with you, but
You're welcome.
I'm going to leave it alone. Where's my paper? I'm lost. Jesus.
Okay.
Watermelon and Soda Pop Curtis.
Those are references to movies. You got that. Dirty Dancing, Carrying a Watermelon, Soda Pop Curtis, The Outsiders, Outrunning a Train, Stand By Me.
Okay. Never mind.
Okay. There you go. I'm sorry.
I'm just going to leave it alone.
Okay.
I'm going to leave it all alone.
Okay.
On that note, please like or subscribe if you're still listening. And remember, you can send us all kinds of feedback to rated_radio@yahoo.com. Ray, who won for you?
Sam Cooke won for me.
And I will agree with that, which is not something I'm comfortable saying.
Agreeing with me?
I do love Sam Cooke.
Mm-hmm.
Every bit of his music that I've heard so far has been stellar.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Otis Redding.
Otis Redding won for you?
No.
Oh.
Sam Cooke won for me.
Oh.
But I'm saying anybody against Otis Redding, it just feels... Something about it feels
wrong. It doesn't feel right at all.
Because that dude's, his voice, what he's managed as far as influence goes in our culture, music culture, it's just unparalleled.
But you also have to take into account Otis Redding had a lot more longevity and opportunity to do that. Where if Sam Cooke would have or could have lived, he got shot in a motel, I think, lounge. And I think it was because he was...
carrying a watermelon.
No.
And got into a fight with Soda Pop Curtis.
What? Are you turning this into something that it isn't?
It's just the way it struck me.
Okay. Anyway, no, I think he was either there with a woman of the night or I think he was having an affair with somebody's wife. And that's what got him shot. So that's what caused him to die. He didn't have a very long career, but I would be very, very curious that if we would have gotten a lot more from Sam Cooke, where he would have stacked up against Otis Redding, because we don't know that for sure. We don't know that, yes, it's Otis Redding, but Otis Redding comes with a lot. He brings a lot to the table. He had a lot of opportunity to make a lot. And
apparently not somebody else's wife, though.
I guarantee you somebody else's wife.
So, and this is a good time to bring up the ridiculousness of people. They'll look at the Sam Cooke situation and think there's a prime example why you don't sleep with somebody who is taken, or however you want to put it.
No, don't walk around and shoot people.
There you go.
Don't fucking walk around and shoot people. There you go.
Why is sex and jealousy and the rest of
Just
it seen
leave
as an
if
excuse?
It bothers you.
Yeah, you ain't gotta
don't hit
fucking
each other.
Shoot people.
Don't shoot each other. Don't break each other's shit. Just get up and fucking leave.
Yeah, or decide you want to be with that person so much you can put up with the fact that they're fucking other people. It's up to you.
Yeah.
You can make adult decisions. The non-adult decision is to say, I mean, if he hadn't been doing that, he wouldn't have got shot. That's just, I find that
Idiotic
reprehensible.
and childish. But anyway.
Sorry.
That's going to do it for this week, Shane.
Until next time, fill your world with music.